gives an opportunity for African filmmakers or filmmakers who live in the diaspora. It gives them an opportunity to show some of their work, as well as the audiences of Verona having an insight through, I suppose, the mass media and the internet of what Africa is like or what types of stories come from African filmmakers. They actually have an opportunity to get a first-hand insight into some of these African films and some of the African filmmakers. Basically, what my film is about two men from two different lives. One, the black protagonist is a guy called Roman, who is played by a well-known American Haitian actor called Jimmy Jean-Louis. And then there's a British protagonist played by a man called Martin Turner. And basically it's about two people from two different walks of life who come together under a certain situation, and through this situation they realise they have a few similarities, even though there is a lot of big differences between them. At first I was quite inspired by, there was a case in America based on a corporation called Enron, which I think back in 2002, it was a company which hit the headlines because of mass sort of corporate fraud. So I followed that case for a while in the newspapers, but then also a couple of years ago there was a New York stockbroker called Bernard Madoff, who also did a lot of sort of embezzlement and fraud, and that kind of stuck in my mind. And then I tried to think about what is the way into that sort of world by telling the story. And then I came up with an idea about a young black man who was born and raised within Europe, but due to some unfortunalities during his upbringing, he has led a life which he had no choice. And basically this life which he now leads is he's sort of like a fixer, kind of like a hitman for a mysterious organisation, which isn't really explained within the short film, but through his actions and his mannerisms gives him a sort of a sense, gives the audience a sense of mysteriously who he is and sort of what he does. I think the audience was very positive. I know the film isn't 100% perfect, but it gives the audience a great insight into what I was trying to do and what I was trying to achieve. But also as well, it kind of gave them a taster of sort of things to come, in a sense, which was great because I've screened this film at various festivals, and what I found in most audiences is that certain beats of the movie, it hits the audience and I get the response and the reaction that I want. But also as well, I found with different audiences, they tend to pick up on minute different things, which to me as a filmmaker is great because it gives me more of an understanding of my audience, and it helps me within the future for when I make this film onto a larger canvas, how I know that it will hit various buttons in the different types of audiences. It kind of goes back to my childhood, really. When I was young, between the ages of 4 and 7, I remember having a few illnesses. I remember I went deaf in one ear for a while. I remember I was at home because I've caught measles or something, and a lot of my time was spent sitting in front of the television. Around them times, television was kind of a new great invention, so there was sort of a fascination towards television, but I found myself getting lost in a lot of movies which used to come on BBC Two and Channel 4 at the time. We're talking old black and white war films and film noirs and so forth. And then when I was around 21, I reached a point in my life, I suppose as young as a lot of late teenagers, early adults go through, where they question themselves and they kind of think, you know, what do I want to do with my life and so forth. And I remember speaking to, I actually worked, at the time I worked in a clothes shop and I was really going to university, and I was working to save enough money to go to university. My parents wanted me to become a doctor or a lawyer, as most African parents do. And my dad even wanted me to go and study agriculture, which I don't know why. But I remember working in the clothes shop, and an actor walked in, Jack Nicholson, and I remember talking to him for about 10 or 15 minutes. And it sounds very simple, but at that time I was quite confused, and I asked him, you know, why did he want to become an actor? And he said, well, he enjoyed it. And because he enjoyed it so much, it didn't seem like work. So every time he goes to work, it doesn't seem like work. And he's become successful at it because he puts in a lot of time and effort and energy, which comes naturally to him because he enjoyed it. So I kind of looked at my life and I kind of thought, you know, when was I most happiest? What did I most enjoy the most? And I reached a place where I thought it was when I was sitting in front of the television, being lost in movies for 2 or 3 hours every other day. And then that's when I decided, yeah, I really wanted to become a filmmaker. There's a lot of African filmmakers, or should I even say African creatives out there working in different mediums to express themselves, whether it's film, radio, television, blogs, writing. But I think where the void is the void is between them who are the producers of their work and we as the audience members who want to engage in their work. I think a lot of people don't know how to access these types of stories or intellects or knowledge which people have put out there into the world. I think the more we can sort of bridge that gap and the more we can have platforms to express ourselves, debate certain issues, tell our sides of the stories, the better it will be culturally for everyone, whether you're black, white, Chinese, whatever race you are. Because the more we can have a chance to understand each other as human beings, the easier and better this world will become.